Yeah.
That's what people don't realize. It's like the bamboo. You know the story of the bamboo.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't really see much progression for like 4 or 5 years underground.
Yeah.
You just see the little bulb, and then suddenly within like 5, 6 weeks, it goes up to 100 feet.
That's
Not
crazy.
everything's always visible. It's
Yeah.
a slow progression, and then it can be exponential. You
Yeah.
know, like how much growth that you can make. So that's amazing. Right guys, so I hope you've been enjoying these questions, you're taking tons of value away from it, and we're gonna get into some more questions. So let's start off. So here, join me with Satty. So Satty's another one of our students that's been involved in Falcon from the very beginning. I remember when I first met you, of course, at the Manchester meetup, which was just awesome. And
10,
that just seems
people.
to, that's just flown by. 10 to 15 people, and now it's like towards the hundreds when we get to the meetups, which is, that's crazy. I mean, I'm sure you've seen the progression of the community and yourself, of course, from that. I remember speaking to you then about your growth and your progression, and you just kind of, you went away, you put a lot of work in, and you must have had periods where you just kind of just shot up and really started to grow. How was that kind of transition for you?
Well, it comes down to actually, because I started right from the beginning as well, looking at the strategy itself, change and adapt with the market quite a lot. And obviously the content that you've been providing as well helped me quite a lot as well at the same time. And actually it kind of relates to the question I want to ask you. Do you reckon the Falcon strategy will ever stop working?
I actually get asked that question in forums a lot. Do you ever think that you can't trade
Well,
forex?
it's an interesting question.
Yeah, of course,
yeah.
So that's a good question. Essentially the total opposite, right? And I think we've seen that in the progression of the strategy already, right? So what I mean by that is where we evolve with the market always, we're always 10 steps ahead of the market. It's just like what I was saying in the boot camp. We've seen recently those expandings, right? Those expanding formations. How frequent are they now?
Yeah,
almost,
yeah,
right? So instead of us now looking back, let's say it could be 3 months' time, we could look back and say, do you remember how many expandings they were? And now you're trying to almost catch the expandings after it's happened, almost in hindsight. So essentially, it seems to keep getting better, and if you test it through the time over the period of years, it keeps becoming more efficient. And where I'm evolving it and I'm getting better and I'm tweaking it and I'm becoming a better trader, I feel like it's my dedication and my obsession to make those little tweaks is why it will always improve. So the total opposite to not working. I think it's just going to keep getting better, and we seem to be ahead of the market always.
Well, we've actually got evidence of that as well.
Yeah, of
just
course.
From the beginning, the strategy, when we used to take setups, I don't know, like a 60 to 70 pip stop loss, we wouldn't have arcs or engulfing candlesticks then, and we adapt with the market. We'll get pans within pans, for example, the engulfings, and 15-minute candlesticks now as well, 15-minute time frames. So we're adapting with it. So
nearly 2 years until we started using the 15-minute chart. You know,
yeah.
a year of my own testing until, you know what I'm like, I'm very diligent in that respect, that I'm not going to introduce something that I'm not doing myself or have a period of time with that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's brought in at the perfect time, because it's helped so, like, iron out so many kinks as well for people to just get better with entries, get better with management, mindset, opportunity, filtering out valid trades for high probability ones. So yeah, I feel like it's just going to keep improving, and I mean, we've seen that within the community.
Yeah.
Remember when the benchmark before was almost, 10%, 15%, you're an amazing trader. Now like, no one's even thinking about that. So it's like a normal thing for, how would you say your kind of progression's gone through that process?
So the process itself, my process was actually really slow.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been trading for like 3 years, other strategies first, and then obviously Falcon.
Yep.
And started off very slow. My head probably wasn't screwed on properly for me to be actually thinking that sort of way. And then literally, I think social media was a big influence to me. Looking at social media and just looking at other people's trades, and just like, it'll be a lot of psychological blockages for me. And after that, I've realized, like, why am I kicking myself for not taking this trade? A lot of emotion being involved in it as well. So I had to just step back a bit and start to realize, stay in your own lane. I started to stay in my own lane, came off social media, and started to realize, like, slow little progression, having an average of 2 to 3% a month. And now for the past 6 months, I'm averaging 6%, which is like epic. Yeah. And literally just January itself, 16%.
Yeah.
And that wasn't from the USD CAD trade.
Oh, really?
That wasn't from the
that's
USD
without
CAD trade.
that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Because I missed all of the USD CAD trades as well. So yeah, the progression for me has just been epic.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
insane.
Yeah.
And it's actually been a very gradual, slow process.
Yeah.
And that's what people don't realize. It's like the bamboo. You know the story of the bamboo.
Yeah.
You don't really see much progression for like 4 or 5 years underground.
Yeah.
You just see the little bulb, and then suddenly within like 5-6 weeks goes up to 100 feet.
That's
Not
crazy.
everything's always visible. It's a slow progression, and then it can be exponential. You know, like how much growth that you can make. So that's amazing. And seeing you from the very beginning. That's what I said. I get to meet people like yourself in Manchester, and now sit with you now and see that progression all the way through. That's why I do it. People always ask me, oh, why do you teach and things like that? A, I become a better trader, and B, I get to help people like fulfill their dreams and things like that. And like I say, money's only one form of wealth.
Exactly.
You know, there's a legacy of like that impact and that change is happening. So that's awesome, honestly. That's sick.
That's interesting. I was actually thinking the other day as well, quite a lot of my journey has been quite psychological and emotional. And, you know, sometimes I would be hesitant to take a trade, for example.
Right.
What do you do? Do you have like certain steps that you take, or do you do anything to sort of, because obviously your emotions are everywhere.
Of course.
Well, mine's used to be like all over the place when I'm entering the trades. What can you do to sort of get rid of that chatter, that mind chatter that you have at the back of your head saying, oh, I shouldn't take this trade because this will happen, this will happen.
So you're in a dialogue is what you mean, right? The little tiny conversations you have in the chimp, for those people that
exactly, the chimp. That's it.
The chimp. Essentially, forecasting is, of course, the most practical, right? But when you're forecasting, of course, you're forecasting the probable and the possible, like I always talk about, you know, the likely outcome, the possible outcome of what you can get involved in. But the chatter, that inner dialogue, that has to be managed on a practical level through things like, I do affirmations a lot, you know, affirmations in here. I affirmate everything to almost keep my brain in check. It's almost like if you didn't maintain something, it would just rot. You know, if you didn't clean something, it would rot. You need to maintain something. It needs to be done practically. And I think the most important thing is to, you know, do things and do processes that's going to help you do that. So things like forecasting helps massively. Having things like chimp paradox to really be aware of your inner dialogue, and then actually having an emotional journal in that sense. So I talk about this a lot. Doing the 7-step process of, for 7 days, just grab a journal or write in Evernote, wherever you may want to do it, and any traders can do this no matter what strategy you're trading. Just write down all of the thoughts that you feel like you're having. You can even record your screen. So for example, when people say things like, oh, what's happening with the pound pairs? Write that down. The issue isn't the pound pairs. The issue is that you feel like you have to ask that question. Do you see what I mean? Because you feel like you need to know, and that's what's holding you back. And by documenting those notes, you would normally get, because seven days, you can't, you know, fake with these emotions. You're going to get so much of that noise coming out. You need to bring it to the forefront, realize what that is, and you'll start to see a pattern. I mean, it's like the irony, we focus on patterns a lot, right? You'll see your own pattern in your language and realize, oh wow, I am my own self-sabotage because I'm negative all the time. But how on earth could you fix it if you won't even bring it to the forefront in the first place?
Well, once you brought it to the forefront, what would your advice be to actually fixing the situation then?
Replace the negative with a positive. So going back to the affirmation. So for example, if you're always saying things like, give me an example of maybe something that you feel like would be negative that might hold you back, or that you've done in the past. Would it be something to do with hesitation, for example?
So just pulling the trigger.
So you'd be like, oh, I'm not really sure if I should, you know, place that trade, or I don't think that's good enough. Have you ever stacked the pros and the cons and things like that? Did you ever do things like that?
So being obviously the probable and the possible and stuff like that, and I would write down like confluences basically. But then I think I'll just trick myself into not actually taking it, even though it's a high probability setup, for example.
Okay, right. So that's normally comes from like an inner belief, right? And it doesn't happen overnight. What used to happen for me is that I used to feel like I'm in that process of, I know these trades, they work out really well, I know how to read price, I know how to do it all, I'll do the same thing, I won't pull the trigger. And feel like I'm still doing my affirmations, I'm still doing all the things that are going to push me towards my goals, but then I still won't take the trade. And why is that? And the reason why I'm not taking the trades is that I had to feel enough pain of those trades almost playing out, knowing I didn't take them, and almost knowing in the moment that's going to play out and I haven't taken it. And I would almost be hesitant in that sense. So you almost have to, like what we talk about, you have to pay your dues, you know? You have to really put that work in, and there's only a certain amount of pain that you can take where you're actually really good. Like your analysis is great, but you're not pulling the trigger until you just kind of say like, F this, I'm pulling the trigger, like I'm actually going to put the trade on. So there's not this one thing that you can do. It just, I've seen it for so many people and myself, you almost have to experience that struggle, that frustration and pain of these trades kind of going without you. You feel like they've gone without you. And then eventually, you know, if you're doing the same movement, the same process, the growth that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then you've probably seen it for yourself. I mean, how did you kind of tackle it yourself from going from maybe making 2%, 3% to then breaking through even more?
Well, it comes actually from the community and looking at your trades. Like you're making that 30 to 40% a month. Why have I set a limitation, and why do I think I'm only going to make 2 or 3%? So it's breaking through that psychological block that you have. And there's obviously ways to do it, writing down your emotions and how you feel and what your inner dialogue and stuff like that. And then, yeah, like you said, replacing it with a more proactive approach.
And then when you got that positive approach, and you know, it's not just like myself, it's tons and tons of people in the community. Like you're doing it now, right? You wasn't before.
No.
So do you see what I mean? And like,
Yeah.
like it's just patience. You just got to put the work in. There's people that do more returns than me. It is what it is. I love it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's about like when you step into a community where there's so many and it's so normal for people to succeed, then it's only natural. Those limiting beliefs will just lift off.
Yeah.
But don't ever put a deadline on when it happens.
Yeah.
So for a new trader, if you're thinking, yeah, I'm surrounded by these people, but my limiting beliefs are still there and I don't know how to tackle it, you need to give yourself time and experience, you know, for yourself. It takes time. Sometimes it's a slow burner, but the future of it is so bright.
That's
look
very
at what you've done. Proud of what you've done, honestly. It's amazing to see that.
That's awesome. That's epic.